Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where we get drunk and talk about stuff. What we got going on tonight is, we're just doing a midweek record because I have been completely lax on getting the recordings done on time, which is Sundays at whatever o'clock we're doing. So I've just been randomly calling out to people and going, hey, are you up to record? And people say yes or no. So I conned Dee into coming here tonight. How you doing, Dee?
I was promised there'd be cake.
Oh, there is cake. It's here. You just gotta come and get it.
Ah, shit. That's a long trip. Womp womp.
How you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. Tired, but pretty good.
Oh, dude, I so feel that. I so effing feel that. I just wish I could get ahead just a few times, just a little bit ahead. That's all I want, just a little bit ahead. But no, it's been a good week. I don't know about you, but it's been a pretty good week here. It's been crazy at work, but that's okay. Well, first thing we gotta get into, of course, is State of Games. State of Games is where we, what are we drinking? What the hell am I saying State of Games for? Man, I'm skipping over a whole segment. I'm actually drinking tonight, so, yeah. What are we drinking? So Dee, I am drinking some misunderstood whiskey, ginger spice whiskey in apple cider. Man, is it yummy. I love it. I love it a lot. What about you, man? What are you drinking?
Well, it's a fall time, so fall means, apples, cider, and all that good stuff. So I'm trying out a new hard cider. This is 1911, Beacon Skiff's strawberry hard cider. So they take, normal hard cider, mix it with strawberry to add the sweet and the tart. Oh, when I cracked it open, you could smell like the strawberries, just so good.
Ooh.
And it's like you get that, like the bite of the hard cider, like it's not really sweet, it's crisp. Mm-hmm. And then you get that after the attack, you get that aftertaste of more of the sweeter strawberry. But it's not too sweet. It's just that, it hits you just right afterwards.
I like it. It sounds
it's really good. It's really good. It tastes really good. 6.9% alcohol by volume, so it's 6.9%. Not bad. And it's made up in New York State.
Ooh. Well, actually, I tried earlier today an Omegang. It was a Game of Thrones stout that they had from forever ago.
That does sound good.
It was pretty good. It was a little bit harsh because it had been aged for like 4 years, and I'm not 100% sure they're supposed to be aged. But other than that, it was pretty boss. I dug it anyway. But yeah, this ginger spice whiskey is just so good, and it's that time of year, man. It's that time of year. It's getting cooler out. It's just nice to kind of sit down with some apple or ginger spiced whiskey, pretty much in any way, shape, or form I can get it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like hard cider, mulled cider, whiskey. It's just that season.
Yeah, so good. Just so good. Well, now, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we pontificate how we feel gaming is today. So, I ask you that question. What is your State of Games?
Albuquerque. No. So I've been playing through the original Zelda on the NES and Zelda 2 Link's Adventure on the NES. I've played some old school there. I've been kicking back in the evenings and playing on my Steam Deck. I've been playing the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series. I just beat the first one, and I've started playing the second one, so Final Fantasy 2.
Nice.
And I just picked up to play during the October season the Dark Pictures Anthology, Man of Medan, Little Hope, and House of Ashes by the Supermassive Games. So I'm excited to try those out. I heard they're pretty good. I mean, I love the quarry biome, so...
You know what comes out this month, right?
What's that?
The Devil in Me, or The Devil Within. It's the fourth of the anthology. Yeah, it's by Supermassive Games. I'm actually, now that I'm saying that, I actually have to jump on, and I'll probably do it while we're talking, and I got to pre-order that so I can get it in. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Ooh, I like this ongoing like anthology thing,
dude. They're short games, and like, admittingly, they're short games, but they're like I like how they roll out. I like the way that they. I just like them. Like I like the way that they play. I just like everything about them. They're not great games. They're not stellar. They're not like going to win massive awards, but I think they're just good games.
Yeah, but I mean, I love the Quarry by him, and so the guy recommended and said, "Hey, these, same company, you should like these if you like the Quarry." And I mean, I bought them. Each one of them was like under $20. So I mean, it's not like I spent a ton. So short game would be all right. I mean, the Quarry wasn't that long either. No,
the Quarry wasn't. But I like these games because they have, at least for me, they've got a significant amount of replay value to try to go through and get, and complete them again and get a different ending or a different.
Yeah. You can make different choices and see different parts of the story from different viewpoints, and I like that. So
exactly,
even though it might not be a very long game first playthrough, you get your money's worth when you're replaying it to get the other perspectives and the other endings.
And not to mention that you get this awesome amount of playthrough when you play it with your friends, which we still have to do.
Yes, horror games are better with friends. Heck yeah.
Yes, they are. There it is. The Devil. Where is it? Hold on. It's called The Devil in Me. Yeah, so it is The Devil in Me. I was thinking that was a Slipknot song. I think it still might be a Slipknot song. Oh, crap. No. It's been postponed? No. It was supposed to be October, and now it's November 18th. Damn it, Janet. Well, still pre-ordering it, so. Because I literally will just throw money at them. They could be like, "Hey, we're coming out with a polished turd. You want it?" I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, dude. Like, I want it. I want it in my mouth." But yeah, so you played the Quarry. Have you finished the Quarry?
Not quite. No, I haven't had a lot of time to sit down on the computer. Most of my gaming is done actually handheld and up, kicked back on the bed.
Oh no, I'm trying, dude.
Yeah, in the daytime, of course, I've got small kids, so the daytime, I'm playing, on the home system, home console, I'm playing the Zelda games. But that's because, I got small children, so I can't exactly play the Quarry in front of them.
Yeah.
Actually, I might just play a little bit of it before going to bed.
Well, we got to get a game going where we. One problem I found: the Quarry does not play well on my Steam Deck. It's a bit choppy, so. That's unfortunate. Maybe it needs some optimization. But
what was it rated? Because the Steam Deck is good about if you look at your library, it'll tell you if it's not assessed at all, if it's got a rating, or if it's like some parts are not not well tuned for it.
Less Fiend 8.
They are doing a good job about going through all the games, and starting to rate them if they're fully compatible or not, and let you know what's the shortcomings.
So Steam Achievement, incorporate third-party DRM, requires end-user license. Where is it going to tell me? Tell me. Where is it going to tell me? I am not seeing it where it's going to tell me. Full controller support. Oh, that's fantastic. Where is if it can play on the Steam Deck?
I know with your library, conveniently, the Steam Deck tells you right on it.
Oh yeah, let's see if it's in my library. 2K Patcher Launcher, write review, community content. Oh, I am not seeing it. What's this I? Show more details. There we go. Nope. Single player, multiplayer, cooperative play, achievements, full controller support. That's Phantasmo, but it doesn't tell me. I know it says it on the Steam Deck, but why doesn't it tell me here? I kind of feel like it should tell me here.
Maybe it's a mystery.
Well, it should say, if it says it on my Steam Deck, it should say it here, right? Maybe it's because I own it? Maybe it's down in system requirements. No, not down in system requirements. Yeah, this is going to be a great episode. Hey, everybody, listen to me. Search for system requirements for a game called The Quarry.
Being October, we should probably go through a few good notable indie horror games recommendations.
Oh, hands down, absolutely. Well, hold on, State of Games. I guess I got to go into my State of Games.
Yeah. I mean, before we get too off topic here.
Yeah, right.
What's your State of Games? Yeah. So
my State of Games, actually, I've been playing a bunch of stuff. I have been playing. Let me pull up my Steam library because that's where I've been playing it mostly from. Yeah. I have been playing. I actually just fired up a game just before we started here, and actually I was playing it slightly into the beginning, called Gladiator Guild Manager. It's kind of a roguelike manager game. You purchase. It's kind of cutesy. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like Warcraft. So I've got different orcs and archers and all that stuff, and I throw them into a gladiatorial ring, and they fight on their own. I don't actually control them fighting. They just go. But I control when they level up, what I dump points into. So it's kind of like a hands-off game in that way. But you also get, it's also roguelike, so the more that they're going to die, whether you want them to or not. And then you can go hardcore and all that jazz. So it's kind of fun. I jumped back into Aliens Fireteam Elite, and I haven't played that game for a while. And I also gotta say, the break from it was nice. I enjoyed going back into it and playing it some. Really, I genuinely enjoyed it. In fact, if I've got time, I'll probably fire up after this and play a little bit, unless you convince me to go play one of those Supermassive games on multiplayer. And then we got that. I'm all for that. I've been playing a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 because I installed that. Really been enjoying that. Rockstar really has fine-tuned their storytelling, and it really shows in Red Dead Redemption 2. A game called Atom RPG, which is a post-apocalyptic RPG, kind of like when you throw it in isometric mode, it feels a lot like a Fallout, but it's in post-apocalyptic Russia, I think, or Ukraine, or somewhere around there. Everything's in Russian, so I'm assuming it's either Russia, Ukraine, Portugal, somewhere over there.
When did that come out?
Atom RPG? Oh, that came out a long time ago. Like that's an old game. That came out in 2018.
Oh, wow. Because it's kind of predicting the future here, isn't it?
Yeah, right. There's a new one. The reason I got it is because there's a new one that came out called Turigard or Troglogard or Troglobite or something. I don't remember. But I saw the new one came out. I'm like, oh, this looks really good. And then I started reading some of the reviews, and the review said, hey, if you're going to play this one, you really need to play the first one to get an understanding of how of what the game is. So I'm like, all right. There was another game called Dome Keeper, which I played a little bit of, which is pretty enjoyable. It's again a roguelike game where you have it's really weird. Like you're on an ancient planet or an alien planet, and you've got to dig underneath you to get resources and upgrade your dome, and then things will attack you, so you got to jump up and defend your dome. So it's kind of weird.
I was checking it out. It got some good reviews for an indie game, so I was started checking it out. I was like, that does sound kind of neat.
And the price point was really good. It was super cheap. Earth from Another Sun, another game that I've really been pushing. I'm liking a lot. It's kind of space exploration 4X crossed with first-person shooter style battles. It's fun. I enjoy it. And there was another game called The Ascent I jumped into. Hades I jumped into for a little bit too. That's pretty much been my game. Oh, and No Man's Sky. I played No Man's Sky on the PS5 with my brother, which I'm going to be playing tomorrow with my brother again. Started off a new game there just to jump in and play a little bit. So, if your question is, hey, Cecil, how have you been holding down a full-time job, having a family, doing a podcast, 3 of them actually, and playing all these games. Well, cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine.
That was my guess too. Nice.
Yeah, it's been a lot of blow. I was going to throw hookers in there, but I thought that might take up a little too much time. I'm finding I actually have some time on my hands, so I might throw some hookers in there, so it'll be hookers and blow. But so far, it's a lot of cocaine.
Well, I mean, you can conserve some time by putting the cocaine on the hookers.
That's a good point. Oh, yeah. Man.
Right off their ass.
God, man, this is why I come to you, because you have the ideas that I just can't think of. They're angles I don't see.
Dude, it's that army efficiency.
It is right there. No,
maybe the German side.
I've actually just not been sleeping all that much and just sitting on the couch, throwing How I Met Your Mother up on the TV and then just jamming out and playing whatever I can on my Steam Link out there. So it's really been it's been interesting. I'm enjoying everything that I'm going, and I actually there's some games coming out that I want to talk about, and that's what we're going to kick into next, which is the topic of tonight's show. It's going to be indie games. What's coming up? What's coming out? Possibly indie games that you just looked at and you've been like, man, I really love this indie game. This was fantastic. Like, just indie games in general. We've done an episode like that before, but there's been some new stuff that's coming out. There's some new stuff coming out on Kickstarter. There's some fantastic indie games I just mentioned, which we can dig a little bit into farther. There's actually another indie game that I picked up called Kenshi. I haven't even played it yet, but that's that I want to talk about. Yeah, so I guess there's my question to you. And I know I kind of threw it at you last second. I didn't really dump on you all that much time to really research, but...
Oh, it's all good. There's a couple I've been really following that I'm like really excited about.
I am so glad that you said that because I was really nervous. I was sitting there going, crap, I didn't tell anybody what tonight's show was going to be about. And yeah, that might be a problem. But... Hit me with one. What do you got? Let's hear it. I'm going to look it up just in case I don't know about it.
I'm sure I've talked about it before, but I'm really looking forward to the original release date. I think it was estimated as this year, but it's been pushed to 2023 as the release date as of right now, tentatively. But it looks so good. Sea of Stars. I am excited for Sea of Stars.
Oh yeah, console game. I see it right here. Let's see what this is about.
Yeah, it's a turn-based
this looks like
RPG.
JRPG.
Yeah, it's inspired by the old classics, and you're basically the story is there's 2 children from the town of Solstice. You know, they each have a power. One's the sun, one's the moon, and together they can perform these eclipse magic, these special rituals. And it's the only force they can use to defeat the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer. So the world almost some parts of the world, it looks like it's gone into that Super Nintendo meets 2D, 2.5D. In some instances, it reminds me of some of the if Chrono Trigger met 2.5D, you know what I mean? It looks really nice. It's looks really well done for all the interviews. I mean, from everything, every clip I've seen, Sabotage Studio looks like they're doing a freaking awesome job, and it looks like this one could be a freaking great game.
So
all the footage I've seen so far looks great.
Right off the bat, it gives a real strong, not dragon. Was it Dragon Warrior? Dragon's Breath. No. Breath of Fire.
Breath of Fire. There you go. Breath of Fire. I was waiting for you.
I'm like, where the hell is it? Yeah, it gives me a very strong, Breath of Fire, aesthetics, how it looks. Yeah, Breath of Fire, Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, when it kind of turns the isometric, it seems more like the Breath of Fire type. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
This looks solid, man. When's this coming out?
2023, and it's been heralded a lot of people that have looked and reviewed some of it, the early footage. A lot of the companies that are looking at it, as far as say for reviews, are all giving it raving reviews so far. So it's I've got high hopes for this one.
Holy crap! This thing raised 1.6 million Canadian.
Yes.
Wow.
And so far, all the footage I've seen so far looks beautiful. I mean, I love the way they did the pixel art, the pixel graphics. It's got the turn-based combat I like, because, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the turn-based, ever since I first started playing, Final Fantasy. I mean, I still like some of the action, RPGs, too. I love how they did the Final Fantasy 15 combat and everything else. I like how they did the remake of Final Fantasy 7. But it's nice to play some of that old turn-based, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, so, like, I was actually wrestling with this the other night. And by wrestling with it, I mean, it just, like, I've come to the conclusion that while I am good at video games, I don't have the time to be good at video games, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, like competitively or stuff that takes a lot of skill and time. Yeah, we don't have the time, but I do love, even if it's grinding, I still will say level grind. If I'm kicked back in my bed before I go to sleep, I'll kick back on my Steam Deck. I just like playing the relaxing JRPG style, where I don't have to sit there and really get intense and be using any hand-eye coordination I may have left in me, you know? So, yeah, like, it's nice just to kick back.
I enjoy playing Call of Duties, Battlefields, things like that. But man, I got other stuff to do in my life than to sit down and hone my skill on one game. I mean, that's why I don't play Destiny anymore. I love Destiny. I loved playing Destiny, but I don't have the time to play just Destiny. I don't have that time anymore. And I wish I did. And I've thrown so much money at so many different things and just like never completed them. I mean, it's pretty sad, to be perfectly honest, how much money I've thrown at shit. But you know, it's okay. So like some people have, some people throw money at other things, and I guess if I'm throwing money at supporting other people's dreams, I guess I'm okay with that. But yeah, dude, Sea of Stars, and that is seaofstars.co. Sorry, yeah, seaofstars.co. And this does look good. It's coming out for Steam, PlayStation, and it looks like it's coming out for Switch. Interesting.
Yeah, just going off of what you mentioned about liking to support like small indie games and studios. I talked to this guy a lot online. Which I bought. I mean, this is not upcoming. This is one that was already been released. But I love how so now it's kind of a thing to make indie games or new games on old consoles and systems. So this guy started the Retro Room company, and he partnered up with another guy and made a Game Boy game, like on the original Game Boy.
Oh, I've heard of people doing that.
He made a game called Gelatinous. Humanity Lost.
Interesting.
It's like a platformer, like physics platformer, where you're basically this got turned into this kind of blob of goo, and you're basically trying to like hop around, navigate through the level, and more areas open up as you unlock more abilities. You can do more of the physics. Like you can't jump at first, but you can climb on stuff, and then eventually you can jump. And so as you go through, you unlock more abilities, and you can unlock more parts of the physics and more of the platforming. It's really neat. The first game they made that I bought from him was called Quest Arrest. That was also on the Game Boy. That was a really neat one. It was where basically it's basically where you're a police officer, right? You're a new detective, and the design of the game, the graphics, and the art inspiration was like Pokemon. You have to decide whether you're arresting them or how much force to use and everything else. Yeah. And you play through the game. It's like an RPG. It's a lot of fun. The guy's a really nice guy, and I've been picking up his stuff and just kind of supporting that because I love old games, so it's like getting to crack out a new game for an old system is kind of cool.
Yeah,
and he puts a lot of effort and heart and soul in that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just taking a look at it right now. That does look very Pokemon-ish just from the stills of it.
Yeah, so I got to give a shout out to the Retro Room because they're pretty awesome, and they also do they try to also re-release old games that were kind of lost, or then they re-got some of the rights, or they found or they want to finish it. So it's stuff like Chip's Challenge, Ellen the Crystal Wars. There's stuff like that they're trying to start to rescue. Like if a game was never finished, it was canceled, but it was almost finished. A few smaller, easier games. They're trying to get that done. They're really trying to
breathe life back into it.
Yeah, it's really
awesome.
cool. I like stuff like that. I mean, there's people that are doing it for systems like NES now, the Genesis, which is really cool.
Dude, that's awesome. And that's the thing. It's I really dig. I'm one of those. I'm also one of those weirdos that just says go support a local restaurant before you go to a chain. Like before you go to Applebee's, try to see if there's a local restaurant that's equivalent to Applebee's. Go there instead.
It's worth it. They appreciate it. They oftentimes are better, and it's like it just supports the local economy so much better.
Well, I mean, I've seen good things and I've seen bad things. Like I've seen restaurants do really, really well, and then I've seen restaurants do really, really poorly. And I mean, the one thing that you can always get or always kind of guarantee, if you go to Applebee's, you order a burger, you're going to get the same burger. If you were to go there 6 months later, you're going to get the same burger. If you go to Applebee's in Kansas, you're going to get the same burger. So, I mean, for consistency wise, like the chains really have that pat.
Yeah, but I mean, if say for instance you are trying to support local business and one opens up that isn't good, they go back out of business.
Exactly.
But when you get a really good one, it's good to support because I mean that money's going back into the community. These big businesses are worried about one thing only, and it's their bottom line. They're not going to treat their workers as well. It's and you see it like when you as soon as you have a community where like a big box store opens up like Walmart, and then you get the big the chain restaurant. Everything goes away. All the variety goes away, and you're left with what? Same thing as every other town: a Walmart and like a fucking McDonald's or an Applebee's.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have that, like mama, and a lot of times you can find some real gems.
That's true. You could find some really, really great restaurants. You should always go check them out. That's why I always try to support local as much as I can. I mean, there's certain things that, like, unfortunately, like you just can't find local for, and that's a shame. Like, for instance, Chicago-style pizza, deep dish pizza. Nobody does deep dish pizza down here where I am. I got to travel like almost an hour to go find anything that's even halfway decent Chicago-style. So a lot of people don't like Chicago-style, and that's fine. You don't have to like Chicago-style. But if you're here,
the deep dish, like the thick, soft, doughy pizza. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's actually pretty good. I like it too. I mean, I like different varieties.
Well, I just like it because the deep dish pizzas have. I mean, I like a lot of different pizzas, but I like the deep dish pizza because they usually put the cheese all the way up to the edge, and you get that caramelized crust all the way around the edge. It's just
it's so good, so good.
It's just so nice.
I also like some of the brick oven pizzas too, but it's not about pizza.
I was going to say, we're not talking about. I mean, we can talk about pizza. We can nerd out about pizza all day long. Actually, now that we're saying that,
probably.
But we're trying to. Well, so there's a couple of games that are coming out. There's some that are in beta right now. That like I wanted to mention a couple games. One game I've been checking out, and if you haven't checked it out, it's called Mandragoria.
Oh, that looked cool.
So, yeah, it's like a 2D roguelike Metroidvania with like, and they said Souls elements, so I'm assuming that it's going to be more like a Castlevania Bloodlines, i.e. uber difficult. And you're going to really have to like play hard into it to, you're going to have to really work at it to be good at it. Which is counterintuitive to everything I just said about me not having time to really get good at a game anymore. But this looks really, really good.
But a well-done Metroidvania style game, especially like in the dark, kind of haunted gothic style, I love it. So, I mean, with the ambiance and everything else, it's like... Yeah, that's the one, Mandragora, that's the one that's being released by Primal Game Studio, right?
Yeah.
Still no release date?
Next year, I think 2020. I thought they said 2023. I backed it on Kickstarter, and I want to say it said delivery December 2023.
Okay, I just saw a to be determined release date from the Steam store, so I was looking at it on there. So that's probably hasn't been updated yet.
Well,
it looks like it looks like a 2.5D side scroller action RPG. So it's got the RPG elements. That almost screams like an updated version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night,
It does, and the way it looks, like the graphics look astounding. Of course, it's their, it's their press release
marketing. Yeah, their marketing, footage.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But even with that said, like it reminds me of the graphics. Remind me of what the hell was that? When they redid Bloodlines. You remember when they redid Bloodlines and it had that kind of 3D but 2D look?
Yes, they updated the backgrounds. The backgrounds actually became more interactive, like would shift and change, and added some animation to it. Yeah,
and the sprites looked a lot different too. Like the sprites looked like they were rendered 3D in the background.
Yeah, I got the updated Bloodlines along with the original in the Genesis.
Yeah. But yeah, this game looks super solid. And I think it made back, like, actually, let me see. Let me look at the Kickstarter page. I want to say it made over 120% Kickstarter goal. Yeah, so it was looking for 110,000, and it's made 151,000, and there's 19 days left to go. So let's see what stretch goals they met. Not updates, not FAQs. Maybe it is updates. They reached their first stretch goal, third stretch goal revealed, and community goals. So where the hell's the thingies? Come on, there used to be a thing.
Don't hide those stretch goals. Show them.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the hell the stretch goals are. I thought they were. Oh, hold on, probably down here at the bottom. Okay, so main goal 110. Secret goal funded. New game plus. Begin a new game with new difficulties and item sets. So at 135K, which they've already done, a sixth playable class, God, I can't say it, Inquisitor. 155K, which they're a little less than $4,000 away from. Fight to survive, discover entropy rifts during the travel, and face off against multiple waves of fearsome foes for great rewards. And then 180K is a fully illustrated in-game bestiary. I mean, I'm okay without the bestiary, but everything else looks pretty boss. Yeah, the game looks super solid. Oh, what the hell is the community goals? Oh, okay, gotcha. So they're looking to reach. So what the hell do you get? Like, okay, this is the first one. I haven't seen. Oh, okay. So if they reach the different goals, they're giving you different things down below. So they've got armor transmog. No need to choose function over form. Choose your armor's appearance. NPC chatter, give a richer voice to everyday life of Fieldom. I'm guessing that's the name of the place. Oh, they're putting in a permadeath mode. Nice. If they reach 16 of those goals, they're going to put pets in. Yeah, these are pretty cute. I like these. Man, we got to get that game going. We got to get that game that we were talking about going. I haven't had the time to sit down and start messing with it.
Yeah, we do. But I have been messing around with the with RPG Maker just to kind of get a feel and learn a little bit more about it. So I have figured out a few things I didn't realize before. So I am playing with it here and there.
Nice. Maybe I should do more Coke and start messing around with RPG Maker.
But yeah, of course, we all, of course, the wife and I just love playing, Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
So we're really excited for Concerned Ape's new Haunted Chocolatier. I'm really looking forward to that one too.
We were talking about that the other day, and yes,
I know.
It's like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. You play a witch, right?
Actually, you're playing a chocolatier. There's a game similar. You're thinking like similar to Stardew Valley that is where you're learning witchcraft and everything else. That's actually not this game. This is the Haunted Chocolatier. So you're a chocolatier, and you're opening up a shop in a haunted castle. So it's kind of like Stardew. You're instead of being like a farmer in Stardew, you're a chocolatier. You're trying to make chocolates and sell them. So but it's in a haunted castle where basically you get ghosts and all kinds of magical shit happens.
I know what I'm thinking of. Hold on.
Witchbrook is what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Witchbrook, and that's by the people who made Starbound, which is Chucklefish.
Yes, and I'm actually was going to mention them too because I'm looking forward to that as well, because that looks good as well. So that's another one, but definitely looking forward to the Haunted Chocolatier because I love castles. Haunted stuff is awesome. So haunted, doing a new game like that in a haunted castle. I think it looked so far from like the videos I saw, like they can pull it off. It sounds odd. Because you're also gathering ingredients too for your chocolate, so you're going around, just kind of like you gathered shit in Stardew Valley. But I mean, it almost seems like odd when you're saying a chocolatier in a haunted castle, but the way I saw the video just looks like it'll just work really well. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know what game I would love to see come back? And
What's that?
in its original inception, not part 2. Not to say that part 2 was bad. I'm just saying it's an original inception. Tecmo's Deception.
Nice.
I would love to see that come back.
If you updated the physics and the graphics a little bit, that would be phenomenal.
I would throw money at it. I would literally just toss. I'd just be like, look, Tecmo, just take my money. You're not in existence anymore? I don't care. Who are you? Take my money.
I mean, who bought the rights to Monster Rancher? They just re-released a new Monster Rancher game, like a redo of 1 and 2.
See, there's my question on Monster Rancher. How will that work? Like, how will a new Monster Rancher work? I'm trying
to remember because they re-released 1 and 2 on the Switch, and they explained how they did it, how they get to to what monsters, the randomization of monsters of the CDs. I'm forgetting, but let me look it up because they explained how they pulled it off, how they pulled it off.
Because before, you literally went through your entire stack of CDs, your friends' CDs. If your parents had them, you grabbed them, and you would put CDs in, and it would make a new monster for you every single time. And that was half of the fun back then, of just, before you could burn CDs, just literally making a monster from just a random CD you got.
So it looks like it's Tecmo. I guess maybe they are still in existence, just owned by another company or whatever. But they remade Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX. Let's take a look at the system.
Yeah, that's Monster Rancher DX, though. Those were ones that were released in Japan.
Yeah. However, how they do the CD thing is, instead of, say, popping in like a physical CD, because obviously you can't do that with a Switch, you pick your CDs from a database.
Oh.
So you pick the CD you want, like, okay, yeah, I want to do, Metallica, and Justice for All. So you'll pick that out of the database, and it'll generate the monster from there.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, we don't have CDs like that, nowadays. So it is kind of cool, because if you just don't look up with the internet, you could look up what CD gave you what, and pretty much, cheat your way through that anyways. So, I mean, picking your CD instead of just going, I'm going to pick my CD from the database and just pick your CDs out. It's similar. I mean, it's not the same, but I mean, you can't really include that mechanic in its true form in today's technology. CDs are just going away.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think that's a valid. I think that's a valid way to bring it back for new audiences, where you can still get that fun of picking, like, oh, I love this CD. What monster will this generate? It's just digital instead of physical form. I mean, I dig it. I like what they're trying to do, because I had so much fun with that game. I mean, I know we had a lot of nostalgia for the whole swapping CDs with each other to see what we got. And it was before the days where with all the guides on the internet were big, and before the internet was really big. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, all you have to do to preserve that whole wonder, what am I going to get, is just not look it up online.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with. I mean, of course,
I still have my CDs, my PlayStation, and Monster Rancher, so if I want to go back, I can always play the original. One good thing about having a collection.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. What else?
I know you were talking about Witchbrook, but what about Witchbrook really caught your eye? I know. Obviously, the premise is you're going to school for witchcraft and everything else. But what else? I mean, it was really cool, because I remember seeing the early ideas for that. I mean, they've changed the graphics a bit. They've changed to more of an isometric view from the top down, like the Stardew Valley style. I know, a different company. I'm just saying Stardew Valley style, like the top down, how the game went. They turned it to more of an isometric, but. What really caught your eye with that game?
So I'm just a huge Chucklefish fan. I really liked Starbound. I like their aesthetics, and I like that they're branching out more into an RPG, because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like it was more of an RPG than it was a crafting survival game. So I really want to see what their chops are, because as Starbound continued forward, the game got more and more story added in, and the story was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what was unraveling with it. I enjoyed what they went with, and I'd like to see them work their chops in more of an RPG environment and see what they can do.
It almost seems like they took inspiration from like remember the Alchemist games?
The Alchemist game. Oh, like which ones? Like which Alchemist games?
The Alchemist of like damn, I'm trying to remember now. There's so many of them. But where you do the crafting, everything. As you go into school, you're doing all the crafting.
Well, I think like Dark something. I remember. I'm trying to remember the Alchemist games.
No, not. You're thinking of Dark Cloud, not Dark Cloud.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Dark Cloud.
Like let's see. Now I'm just drawing a blank on the name, but it's like, the Alchemist of like the Alchemist of Ireland. It's the Atelier games. The Atelier games.
No, I don't think they're not ringing a bell.
Atelier Rorana, the Alchemist of Ireland. Oh god, what was the one that I liked that was it wasn't, Atelier or whatever, it wasn't any of those ones, but there was one I really liked.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look those up, because I don't know.
Because the Atelier Iris, there was all the Atelier games. Monocameo was one I liked, Monocameo 2. Or Monokemia, or however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, I think it takes sense. It seems to me like it takes inspiration from those games.
Okay.
Atelier Iris, Atelier Iris 2. Yeah, if you look those up, I'm sure you like seen them somewhere, or you'll even tried them.
I probably have.
Yeah, but it seems like they take some inspiration from those games almost, is what I was getting a hint of. But I'm looking forward to Witchbrook as well, because it seems like a lot of fun. Except it's not really alchemy. You're more doing just regular traditional magic, witchcrafted spells as opposed to straight, like, alchemy.
And
but,
magic seems to be in nowadays.
Yeah, you don't have too many people. Oh my god, that D&D, you're casting a spell, you're all gonna go to hell and die.
Right? Oh, man. Another game that's coming out, I think I've mentioned it before, is Earth from Another Sun. I actually mentioned it earlier, too. That game, I think, is still in closed beta. I think it's still in closed beta right now. But it's one of those closed beta. It's just like Tarkov. You just pay to get into it. And that game is very fun. It's got elements of 4X in it, where you like get a whole group and crew. There's exploration where you go from planet to planet to find stuff, and then there's there's literal battles between you and whomever, and they're fun. I mean, it's got a lot of polish that it needs. The movements in it are still kind of old school Quake-ish, and not like Quake 3, but Quake-ish. So there's a bit of that in there, but it's got some promise. I like it. I like it a lot.
It certainly looks promising.
Yeah, dude. It really. If you haven't seen any of the videos for it, they're really cool.
Try to think of some of the names of some of the ones I was looking at the other day. Trying to remember some of the ones I was looking at. Yeah, old age and brain damage isn't a good mix.
I can see that being a problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a lot, but there's a lot of indie games that I usually just kind of glaze over. I'm not really interested in, you know what I mean? They just aren't my thing. Some that get really good reviews that I just never really get into, but, Let's see if I can find one of the ones I was looking at the other day. Let's see if I can find one of the ones.
As we now kill time waiting for, hopefully, him to find something that's good. And maybe he will find it. Maybe he will not. The world may never know.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. But while I'm trying to jog my memory, since it is like the month of October, how about actually there it is. That's what I was looking at. Beacon Pines.
Beacon Pines. Oh, hold on, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, it's like a cute and creepy type game.
Beacon Pines. All right, let's see what this thing looks like. Oh, that is kind of cutesy. Your little animals.
Oh, it looks like it might have actually come out already. Yeah, looks like it might have come out already. I didn't miss that.
You're around a big pit. And yeah, it's $20.
And Night in the Woods meets Twin Peaks.
Oh, somebody just got...
It's like one of those multi-choice games, yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of cute. That looks cutesy. Colorful exploration, single-player, story-rich. Man, I'll give that a shot.
So that was one I was considering. But I mean, being the month of October, I think we should probably kind of reminisce about some really good indie horror games.
Oh, man.
That we recommend, that highly recommend.
I guess what's going to classify as horror? Well, I mean, the first one that comes to mind, of course, is 13 Dolls.
Yeah. But I mean, also, but Outlast. I really recommend Outlast. That was an indie game and an indie studio, and they did such a good job that I almost thought it was like AAA studio at one point.
Well, does Outlast count as an indie game? Like, is that an indie studio?
It was. It was when it first came out. It was certainly considered an indie studio, indie game.
Huh. Well, I did not know.
I mean, they've gotten bigger with the success of Outlast. They've gotten bigger, but yeah, that was a fantastic game that was considered indie at the time.
Interesting. I did not know this. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I'm an American hero.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, I guess it's no longer considered, indie for like the quarry or whatever. But what do you got? Do you have any like indie horror games that you'd recommend?
That's a tough question because like I honestly would have to look through my Steam. I got to look through my Steam library to be perfectly honest and say, okay, well, what's going to count as indie horror here? Because I've played a lot of like, God, what's that game called? Like Claire.
Well, there's Amnesia. Yeah, I mean, there's Amnesia: The Dark Descent. 5 stars at Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm sorry, Darkwood.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, I guess would go there. Hold on, let me look up horror.
Little Nightmares was cool. That's actually an indie studio, and that was actually really cool.
All right, let's take a look here. I don't know. Was Alien Isolation, was that an indie? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
I mean, that's a major. That's owned by a major company. It's a major IP. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Be hard. That would be hard to say out there. Let's look through here. Oh, Dread Out. Dread Out was I think is 100% indie, and that was a freaky like Japanese horror style game. Oh, hold on, somebody's messaging me. Well, that was Shinzu, it sounds like. Joining or trying to join in, but he was a little bit late. Sorry, Shinzu. Let's see here. Hold on, where was I? Dread Out. Yes, of course. Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah. I don't know. Would you call Friday the 13th the game an indie? Because I don't know if Gun Media counts as indie or not.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
It is a tough one. I mean, was it an indie studio that took the major IP and handled the development, or?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Gun Media did it all.
You know what? How about here's a real indie one, an obscure one that came out a while ago. I originally backed the Kickstarter or talked with the guy. It's called Never-Ending Nightmares.
Never-Ending Nightmares. Okay, hold on.
It's almost like you play like, you know, it's almost like it's penciled, you know, like pencil drawn, except a little bit of color, like where the red, like blood is added in and red colors. But it's mostly black and white. And you play as Thomas. He's stuck in a nightmare loop and he can't get out, and it deals with mental illness. It basically, the lead designer has struggled with depression and obsessive compulsive disorder, his OCD disorder.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So he wanted to create. It's a 2D side scroller, kind of a little exploration. You interact with stuff. It's like, you know, a little point and clickish type thing. I played like the early like beta versions of it, and I supported it. And it's kind of spooky and scary. You know, a little nightmarish. But like I said, you know, not only does it have the horror theme, it's kind of a horror indie game, like a really indie game. I think it was like a single person made it. But it just tries to like bring to light like the struggles that he'd have to deal with, you know, with his own mind, you know, and it really tried to shed some light on, you know, mental illness and stuff like that and the struggles people go through. I just think that's a good shout out for that one, because that's a cool one, especially for this, you know, this month. Yeah.
No, that's definitely a good call. You mentioned Amnesia, and Amnesia's good. Amnesia's a bit old, and like they've gotten a lot of notoriety now. So like I almost take, like, they're still indie company, and Amnesia's good. But I don't know, I kind of hold them on a different pedestal, kind of like Outlast.
Yeah,
like I hold them on a different pedestal now than I do like a straight indie. God, there was a pixel version, or there was a pixel game. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a horror game. You like were trying to make it back to your house. And like everybody around you was already dead. God, I can't remember the name of it. It's going to kill me too until I can find it.
Oh, what could you say? What was that again? Your what house?
It was an indie pixel art game, and you were a person just trying to like get back to your house. Like that was the whole thing, and you end up going.
Or were you in the hospital?
In the game?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
We were talking about, was it the one that we talked about? We talked with the creator, the guy that did the music to it.
No, that was Claire.
Okay,
that was a different one.
But another good indie game, especially horror themed. Yeah, another good indie one.
Claire is a fantastic game. If you haven't played Claire is definitely worth the playthrough.
No, I'm not sure what you're.
Kill me.
Not a horror game, but another one like with dealing with mental stuff. There's another really good. Indie game, but it's a sad one. It's a real tearjerker, but it's called That Dragon Cancer.
That Dragon Cancer. Oh, yep. Lord.
That Dragon, comma Cancer. Yep.
All right, I'm looking. I think I have it on PlayStation, so I'm looking through my PlayStation list right now to see if I can find it. And it's like a. I want to say it's like a one-word name for a game.
Yeah, the caption.
That's the name of it. It's called Home.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
God, it took me so long to get there. I didn't even find it. I just remembered it. Yes, Home.
Nice.
Home was the name of the game, and that game was creepy as hell. It was all pixel art, and it was really meant on exploration. I don't even remember if there was any. I don't even remember if there's any actual fighting in it whatsoever. I think there was. I think you got a weapon, but I don't think I ever. Like, actually fought in it, to be honest. What the hell is this game that I have called Corridor Z? When the hell did I pick this up? God, this looks lame. I love it.
I think you looked at it when we were talking about, like, crappy... Remember when we were talking about really crappy indie games that could be really good? I think that's when I pointed it out and you said, okay, I gotta pick that up, and you just went ahead and bought it on a whim. I think we're talking about it during some drunken podcast.
Yeah, so
I really do.
I got to stop drinking and priming. That's obviously what this is. But yes, that looks interesting. That looks funny as hell. I have all the Dark Pictures anthology because I am that guy. Oh, Darkest Dungeon.
That's also a good one. That's a fun one to play too. Darkest Dungeon.
That is a brutally difficult game too.
Yeah. And there's also and not just indie. I mean, there's so many good horror games for this time of year.
Dude, speaking of horror games, please tell me that you have been tracking the new the remake of Dead Space.
A little bit, yeah. I have been tracking. I've heard of it, and I'm like, ooh. It could either go one of ways. It could either be like just improve it, and it's like, whoa, or they can fuck it up. I'm so afraid of remakes because it's like it's either you get something that makes you really happy, or they fuck your nostalgia. They fuck your childhood hard. You know what I mean?
I am both terrified and excited because Dead Space 3 nailed the multiplayer co-op. I mean, 100% nailed it.
I have a fear boner with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. But I'm holding out benefit of the doubt on this one. I'm hoping it's going to be fantastic. I'm expecting less than fantastic, but I'm hoping it's going to be fantastic. I'm probably not going to buy it right out of the gate. I'm probably going to wait for it to come out, probably be out for a week before I pick it up. However, I foresee it in my future.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of remakes. Also, like some classic RPGs. There's a lot of classic games they're starting to, especially for the Switch. Some we never got the opportunity to get in the States, like Live a Live that came out, which is an RPG that was on the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, never came out in the US. Stayed over in Japan. They released that recently, so it's kind of cool that they're re-releasing stuff. And with Live a Live, they did a really good job with just slightly updating the graphics, like with the slight pixel update, but not really changing the game. You know what I mean? So they're doing pretty good with some of that lately. So it is exciting time for if you liked an old game, you're like, man, wouldn't it be great? That would really benefit from the updating graphics because some like RPGs like the pixel art, with the kind of the Octopath Traveler type style update or treatment, it can look really good. But a lot of games just don't really benefit from an update. But I mean, certain games like certain old horror games would just be like, with the graphics we have now, that more intense. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, imagine them redoing stuff like we're talking about Tecmo's Deception with that. Maybe redo Clock Tower with today's graphics.
Oh, dude, Clock Tower. That's an old school horror game. Holy hell. Dude, Scissor Man?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it counts as indie, but it wasn't a huge game either.
Oh man. God.
But man, imagine being in a 3D house instead of just a 2D. First person perspective, getting chased by and trying to hide and getting chased by fucking Scissorman Man.
Oh man,
that would be intense, dude. If you do it right,
imagine that in VR.
Yeah, it'd be like doing Resident Evil right in VR, like they did with the one game.
Shoo! I'm not sure I'd make it through that one.
I'm just a barrel full of bad ideas tonight, ain't I?
I mean, I'm with you. And when I say I'm with you, I mean I'm with you.
Yeah, looking for the kitchen like Scooby-Doo, like me and Shaggy, you and Shaggy here, we go to the kitchen, and try to get away from the haunts to the food.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
You can't run ghosts and ghouls on an empty stomach, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm all in.
It'd be cool to make like a Scooby-Doo horror game.
Go dark?
Yeah, real dark, as in, instead of it being, they figure it's just going to be another one of those mysteries, you pull the mask off and it's a person. Real hauntings and members of the mystery machine there die. I mean, that would be kind of cool to have a real spooky version of that.
That'd be pretty boss. That'd be terrifyingly boss.
That'd be cool.
That'd be like that episode of Supernatural where they will go and find the Scooby Gang.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty boss. I'm down.
I mean, what other old school horror games do you think would benefit for a good overhaul, a good update?
Oh man, well Fatal Frame is getting a new game, so I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah, I am too. I mean, I love Fatal Frame.
God, an overhaul, an old scary game that would deserve an overhaul. Silent Hill.
Absolutely, especially with today's controls too, and the added graphic. You could do that fog. You could do that, that real immersive so well.
Imagine if they did Silent Hill, how they did that new Resident Evil, the Biohazard. Imagine that.
That would be amazing and terrifying. I think another game that they could possibly, if they did it right, obviously it can go either way, but I think if they did Eternal Darkness on the GameCube again in today's graphics and flesh it out some more, that'd be cool.
Oh, that would be intense.
Yeah, with all the H.P. Lovecraft-inspired cosmic horror, hell yeah, that game was... And if they find better ways to fuck with you, too.
Oh, that would be insanely intense. That'd be nuts. That would be absolutely stellarly nuts. But you know what? Here's my problem with it. And this is my only gripe. How would you be able to pull that off without everybody knowing what's coming and what's happening? Like Eternal Darkness, I think, nailed it last time because, well, simply because nobody knew what it was, and like word of mouth wasn't quickly driving everybody to just know what was going on.
But I mean, still, even without the whole messing with you thing and everybody knowing it, I mean, it's still just a good cosmic horror, in it. I would updated graphics, keeping the game and the storyline. I think it would do pretty well.
God, I'd like to think it would. I really do. I would like to think that it would. But I could so see it getting like really messed up quick.
Yeah, but like I said, it could go either way. You could either do it right, or it could kind of like just miss the mark. It's one of those games like it could either be really good or really bad. It won't be any in between.
I agree. I don't think that there's a way to make that an in between. I think that's just going to be it's either fantastic or it's utterly miserable.
Yeah. I think either a remake, like, just, redo it, or just an update in graphics. I think Alone in the Dark would be cool, too.
God, you know what? I never got into Alone in the Dark. And, like, it was so far gone by the time I got to it. I never got into it. And I feel like
my wife
I
really
should
liked
have.
it, so... I played it because my wife really liked that game. She played it growing up, so I was like, yeah, I think that would be a good one, too.
I could see that. I could see Alone in the Dark. I don't know. As I said, I never got into them when they were in their hype, and I tried to go back and play one recently, and it was fucking miserable. Like, it was absolutely, utterly miserable.
I mean, I have a copy on the Dreamcast of Alone in the Dark, but it's one of those. It's like, tough when you got the old controls and everything else, old graphics. You're like. I remember back when it's like, oh, the graphics are so clear. Oh my goodness, so realistic. And then you play Golden. I'm like, I can't play. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, like
I can't find anything. I tried to play GoldenEye not that long ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't see a fucking thing. It's all just big blob. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know how we played that game and we're good at it. Like it's hard to watch.
It's almost painful. I mean, it was a great game in the heyday, but it's like now just the graphics are painful.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, not horror topic, not indie or anything else like that, but just as a side note, because it's in my brain, they're remaking, I think on the Switch, I don't know if any other system, but definitely on the Switch, they're coming out with Suikoden 1 and 2, which is a slight update to the graphics.
I did see that. Did you see my link? They're actually releasing them on Steam as well.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm sure I saw it.
I am 100% picking that up.
I mean, the games are expensive these days. I mean, I do have, the copies of my Suikodens, but it'd be nice to play it like with updated graphics without having to touch and scratch up my collectible discs,
That would be nice. But you know what? I don't know. I would like to see. I just want to see him, honestly. Like, Suikoden was just such a fun game, going through and trying to recruit all 101 stars. It's just the nostalgia's kicking it for me.
Wasn't it 108 stars?
You're right. It was 108. I only ever got 101.
No, I knew the factor. I haven't gotten all 108 yet either.
Yeah, I only got 101.
Close, but I've gotten close, but never quite gotten 108. You know what? Shit! It was just in my brain. I just got derailed for a second. No, you know what? You know what I would like to see? Not necessarily a remake, but them to revisit in the same style. I wish they'd revisit like the same type of style, with updated graphics. But Persona returned to its roots like the first one on the PlayStation, like really return to the old school, like Persona style.
That's such a sore spot for me because I love Persona. And I'm so like, God, I just.
They went from like
so
Persona had its. Yeah, I mean, Persona had its own, like, say, the first one was just like such a great style, its own personality. And it seemed like with the later Personas, they basically became like, remember the Devil Summoner game?
Yeah.
It seems like they just kind of copied that style, kind of moved over to that style, and kind of left the persona behind. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Like the big thing that I remember about Persona that I loved about it was that you played like you had that dungeon crawl bit of it where you were doing the first person dungeon crawl of it, and I'm a huge fan of the old Wizardry series. So
yes,
like
me too.
Right there, just that gets my nerd boner going, and walking through and doing that, but then like. Just the whole aspect of you're continuously talking to you're talking to these monsters and you're recruiting them. You're trying to find different combinations of how those combinations work with there was just a feeling, a lust that I just think was lost in the later Persona games where they became much more
cliche. For the genre?
Not cliche, but they became much more like they felt much more like a JRPG than they did like a horror RPG. Like that's what I liked about the original Personas. It had this horror element to it.
Yeah, do you remember also another one that was it was more of a tactical horror RPG, but do you remember Koldaika?
No.
I'm probably mispronouncing the hell out of it.
No, I don't. What was that?
Oh yeah, let me bring it up and send you the let me tell you how to spell it. Delka. Yeah, on the PlayStation, it's spelled, if you want to look it up, Koudelka. I
hold on, Ko
beat the hell out of it. It was a role playing game. Here, let me.
Koldaika, got it.
Yeah, Koudelka. I played and beat that, and that was just really cool. I like that. That was another cool one. It's more obscure, but it's really neat.
Yeah,
I really like that game.
I don't know that I know this one, but it looks very PlayStation-y. It looks cool.
It was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that one for, if you can get a hold of it.
Man, chance of me getting a hold of it. I might be able to get a hold of a ROM, maybe play it through the browser.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find it like that, but I mean, it's like, if collecting too, I mean, if you find a copy, that's always cool. If it doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, that's a trouble.
The old Personas cost an arm and a leg now.
Right? Like, I think I still have my original Persona 1 upstairs, and I don't know that
I have it.
That.
I have a really nice shape in the box, my Persona, but I don't have an instruction manual for it.
I might have
one thing I need.
I might have the instruction manual. I'm not sure. I gotta look now. I think I do. No, I'm gonna find out after this show. I'm gonna go find out because now I'm interested.
But there's so many good, whether it be indie or old school, like, so many good horror games for the season to play,
I know, right?
And even the game that we like to play, it started off, I don't know if it's still considered indie, but we started off playing it. Terraria has also got a lot of cool themes for every time of the year. It gets a Halloween theme and Halloween monsters and bosses this time of year. I mean, it also gets the Christmas stuff when it's Christmas. So that's a really cool, because that's like a 2D Minecraft only with more horror themes. More H.P. Lovecraft, inspired. So that's always fun this time of year. And playing online, PC multiplayer or on the Switch or whatever console you like. Great game to play with friends,
Agreed.
It's always fun.
Yeah, dude, I figured out, I posted the other day, I don't know if you saw, but I figured out No Man's Sky is my Terraria. Like,
yeah.
That's my Terraria. Because I can just sit down, chill out, and play that game for hours on end. It's just like, yeah, this is my jam. I got this.
It is a good one. They did so good with kind of like adding so much more stuff and without costing us extra, adding so much more content. They did a really good job of really trying to make it up to everybody for, the opinion that, let down the fans or whatever, the customers. But they've done such a good job at making that game a real gem.
100% agree. Like, they just did a fantastic job bringing that game back from the dead. Like, that game was rough starting, and they really did bring it back.
And talk about horror. It was dead and it came back.
Right.
But instead of Pet Sematary, it came back good.
Yeah, like it didn't. It kept building and building and building on it, and it just kept getting better and better and better.
It's almost like where it came back from the dead, where you took all the spare parts to make Frankenstein's monster, but as you polish it up, it turned into like Brad Pitt or some shit. You know what I mean? It made you millions. Starring a few movies.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh. Horror-themed old-school games. I actually picked up on the TurboGrafx 16 a complete copy of Splatterhouse.
Oh my god, I haven't played Splatterhouse in forever.
That's an awesome game.
Hands down, yeah, man. That's good. That was a good side-scroller.
And the graphics are much better on the TurboGrafx 16 than, say, on the Genesis, because they released it on the Genesis too, but I find that the TurboGrafx 16 had some pretty sweet games. A lot of them play better, you know what I mean? I didn't get to grow up with the TurboGrafx 16, but now that I have it and collect for it, it's some of those games are just better on it. Some of the games I like on other systems, but I also got Alien Crush, the pinball game, on it too, which is a lot of fun. That Alien Crush and Devil's Crush, they're both horror-themed pinball games, and they're great on the system.
Huh. I'm not sure that I played Alien Crush.
It's a good one. So Alien Crush or Devil's Crush. The TurboGrafx 16 is a lot of fun to play. Next time you visit, I'll have to crack it out because, we like pinball games, especially horror-themed ones.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I used to sit around and play those, old pinball games on your computer for hours.
Oh, dude, yeah. I picked up. I got a Humble Bundle. What the hell were they? They were. It's like Pinball FX. Hold on. Yeah, Pinball FX3, and it had a bunch of Star Wars tables, a bunch of Marvel tables. Yes, I've got Marvel Avengers, Marvel Cinematic Pack. There's just like, I found it the other day, and I'm like, man, I gotta play this on Humble Bundle, and I'm like, this is awesome. I gotta play this. You
gotta love Humble Bundle and Steam. I mean, there's just so much gems that are just getting re-released, you get to get through there.
Right.
And I really like, I know there's like a lot of that whole like, the copyright, everybody's flipping out, but honestly, with all the re-release, with all like the, people trying to like, make ROMs and stuff, I mean, the video game preservation is just, I think is a really good thing. Because how many like legendary games did they lose the rights for? And then when they finally regained the rights, they couldn't make it because they lost the source material, the source coding.
Dude.
I mean, so many good games, and they can be reverse engineered by the public. The companies just go up and say, this is too expensive, that's impossible. And then you take like somebody ripping a CD, old CD game, or the ROM, and then reverse engineering it. It's like, for game preservation, sometimes it's like you'll never see a re-release because then nobody knows who owns. Like, nobody owns the rights. Nobody can legally do it. It's like nobody knows who owns the rights. I mean, it's just the game preservation. I think is great.
I agree. Like, definitely keeping that. Like, there was, what was it? Fallout 3 was was codenamed Van Buren.
Mm-hmm.
And that game never made the life a day, but somebody reverse engineer was able to get like a tech demo out of it. And I was like, that's pretty boss.
Like, I was like, and there's some games, of course, that don't ever get produced or never get finished and gets lost to the time. Like, what was that one Resident Evil that was supposed to come out and they got canned? And they had the playable demo that, was on PlayStation, and then, like, it's sold for big bucks if you have a PlayStation that had it downloaded.
You're thinking of Silent Hill, and the game is called PT.
Oh, yeah, Silent Hill. Silent Hill PT. I'm sorry, not Resident Evil. Silent Hill PT, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it was called Silent Hills was the inevitable name of it.
And stuff like that just gets lost to time. And I mean, it's just the preservation. I mean, it's a cool idea. I mean, you could always revisit it. I mean, the preservation, I think, is really paramount.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I wish... I mean, people beat me to the punch making, like, video game museums. But one of these days, I'd like to build, like, a museum, like an arcade, like a playable video game museum where you don't just have to just stand and learn about it, but you can actually play the games.
That would be cool. On
the old system, or at least a facsimile where, you know, you make, like, a, you know, take, like, a... basically firmware, you know, you make a mock of it, like what are those little circuit boards we do that on?
Oh, the Raspberry Pis?
Yeah, like Raspberry Pis make the shells, like, you know, kind of like how Nintendo remade its little systems, all digital. You know, it started like, even if I could just do that, but it, you know, for the playable stuff, so you don't destroy like the original. But it would be really cool to have a playable video game museum. Where it's like, oh, remember Splatterhouse? Well, here it is. You know, or arcade, you can actually go and play it. Yeah. Here's the history. Here's the whole thing of the history behind it. You know, all the cool stuff, and then you're actually sitting there playing it. I think a playable video game museum would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that.
I know I would go to it. Like, I've been to a bunch of those arcades, where the coin-op arcades, where you show, where it's like literally you walk in and you have a card and everything's like everything's still a quarter. Yeah.
Or, of course, you got barcades and you got video game museums, but it would be cool just to have a playable video game museum, just a giant thing of, and not just like arcades, but like, you know, the whole home consoles, including obscure ones.
Yeah.
Kind of like, remember the stores you had like the TV, like the demo, you could have like even the handheld systems hooked to that TV where you're actually like demoing it.
Yeah.
You fucking sweet, man.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I would be down with it. There's some, and I'm sure that there's like some, what's his face? Some
licensing legalese.
Well, yeah, licensing and legalese. I that's an obvious. But no, I was thinking, like those computer gaming stores. What the hell are they called? Cyber cafes.
Yeah, like the cyber cafes.
That probably
have
have something similar to that already, and that'd be pretty cool to go back and check.
Yeah, especially if you had like the like LAN party, like the old Xboxes, the old Halos and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and some of the other shooters and stuff that were really good at the time.
God, yeah, man, taking me down memory lane here.
I know, right?
Well, we've been at this a while, so
yeah.
On that note, where can people find you at, Dee?
People can find my website, microbregamers with a Z instead of an S.com. I've got a YouTube channel, Microbregamers, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Discord, but of course I'm mostly trolling the G.N.A podcast Discord, so you can find me a bunch of places.
Very nice. And I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else. Ustream, Twitch. Just if I'm not there, let me know. I'll upload there. I'm literally like everywhere. I'm tooling around the Discords. I'm tooling around all sorts of Discords. I'm tooling around Discords that people don't even talk to me in. Like, I'm in so many Discords. Just let me know. I'll join that Discord too, and I'll create havoc.
The creep. He's a creep on all the Discords.
I am. So, quick schedule update. Next week, we're going to have an episode. We'll hopefully record this Sunday, unless something happens. But next week, we'll have an episode. The week after, we won't have an episode because I'm going to be traveling to Michigan and I won't be around to record. So if we can possibly do like we did this week and squeeze an episode in the middle of the week, I'll do something there. But otherwise, we'll probably have a week in there where I'm taking off because, well, yeah, I'm not going to be here.
Sounds fun though.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm thinking it's going to be a good time. It's Magnate's wedding. Let's say once it's all then happened, I will send out the audio file, but he came into the Discord the other day and was asking for somebody to mash up a bunch of music together to make an aisle walk, something that he can use to walk down the aisle with.
Dude, he's having an October wedding, right?
Yes.
You gotta slip in the monster match somewhere in there.
So I didn't. He's a video game nerd. So I took all the songs that he did, and then I took some songs that fit better, fit the narrative better. So I did those as well. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. going to be real cool.
No Monster Mash.
No Monster Mash. But I got a gag I'm also playing on them, so we'll see how that one goes out. If I can get the things through custom, we'll figure it out. We are partnered with Humble Bundle, so go check them out. You can get Humble Bundle's a game purchasing service with a twist. You can donate to charity at the same time that you're buying a bundle of games. Go put the !partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end of your podcast, or at end of your Humble Bundle link. That'll let them know that we sent you. I don't want any of your money. Put that slider all the way down to 0. Go check out the G.N.A swag store at G.N.A Gutter Shots. I not only have G.N.A stuff up there, I actually have some off-brand swag for where I work, which is kind of funny. But go check that out as well. And we have a website, www.gnapodcast.com. I haven't updated in a while because I broke my Dreamweaver, so I've got to fix that. Yes, I still use Dreamweaver. Suck it. I got to go fix that. Once I fix that, it'll be back up and running. But I mean, the website's up there. I just haven't been able to update it. So I think I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind right now. But we'll get it fixed. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Dee. It was fun.
Yeah, it was, man. Especially talking about some of the, not only the nostalgia, because, I love horror, whether it be movies or games, but the indie stuff I'm excited about. And some of it has a touch of horror, like the Haunted Chocolatier. It has a touch of the creepy.
Yeah, dude. There's some good stuff out there. I'm super excited to see what's going to be coming out. And there's it's funny how indie games has really turned into the next mainstream, like there's mainstream and it's almost like down with the man. There's so many mainstream games coming out that you're like, oh yeah, it's a AAA title, but you wait so long for them and you're just like, nah. Like some of them just come out and you're like, meh. But yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, check some things out. If you want to come out, hang out, and join the Discord, look at the website. The link for that is still working. Go join the Discord, come hang out with us. We'll play some Terraria, No Man's Sky, or Aliens Fireteam Elite, or whatever. We'll find something and play. We're more co-op
or
people
Man
now.
of Medan, or more Man of Medan.
The Dark Picture Anthology, yeah. We've, all of the really competitive people, I'm going to be nice and not call them names, but all the competitive people that are really kind of toxic at times pretty much left. So, we're pretty much we're at the co-op level stage versus the competitive level. So if you're a competitive player, don't join us. We're not the people.
Here's a philosophical question: Are we non-competitive? Because we're more into co-op, or just because we suck?
Dude, I will fully.
I just suck.
Yeah, I will fully admit I am not. I don't spend enough time to be good at games anymore. I am good at playing games, but I don't play games enough to be good at them.
I have never had or developed the hand-eye coordination to be as good at games as you are, so I just perpetually suck.
Oh yeah, so
I plateau. I plateau early, and I'm just there.
No, I enjoy playing games now. Like I'm just
yeah.
For years I was jumping in, really trying to be like competitive and trying to keep up with the Joneses, and because other people wanted to play whatever, I was just like yeah I'll play because they want to play. I'm going to play, and now I'm just at the point where I'm like, I really do enjoy hanging out with people and playing video games, but I don't need to hang out with people and play video games. Like I will sit down and play Terraria all day long. I will sit down and play a different video game and just be in a voice chat with somebody while they're playing a different video game. I don't care. But I'm just like...
Yeah, but just... it's no longer couch co-op, but the co-op games like Stardew Valley and Terraria, I just find relaxing and are fun.
Yeah, they really are. They just really are genuinely fun. So yeah, you want to come hang out, hit the Discord, join in. But yeah, man, have a great night. Thanks for joining.
You too. It's been a lot of fun.